Input delay or input lag is the big issue that I'm sure a lot of you guys have been experiencing on PS5 and PS4, and I'm pretty sure on the Xbox side too. Today I'm going to show you guys exactly how to remove this issue permanently from Warzone 2 and make it to where you guys are not lagging anymore in gunfights, or if you guys are just trying to play the game casually. A lot of you guys in my community have been requesting this video for a while now, so I'm going to go over some good settings as well as some really useful tips to make it to where you guys do not have any more input lag from your controller. So with that being said, if you guys do enjoy today's video and learn something new, make sure you guys drop a like and subscribe to the channel. And with that being said, let's go straight into the tips. So the first thing I want to talk about is your dead zone. This is a pretty easy fix, and I'm sure a lot of you guys probably have already heard about this, but just to go ahead and announce it for those that don't know, your dead zone can be responsible for a lot of delay in how you aim, shoot, and move around in the game. I've seen a lot of players that have their dead zone bumped up to the max, and that is exactly why you may feel like your shots or your aim is being very delayed. So if you guys do play on a really high dead zone, and if you guys have a pretty solid controller, turn that down as much as you humanly can without making it to where you have a lot of stick drift. I'm not going to talk about this too much in today's video because I've actually already made another video. You guys can check that one out in the link in the description. That one talks all about dead zone and how you guys can use that to your advantage to get much better response time. But this tip I'm going to tell you guys right now mainly goes for the console players. We're going to go over some PC stuff too later on, but right now I want to focus on the console side. This goes for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, and Xbox One. And we're going to talk about your communication method. This basically means how your controller is communicating with your console in order to send the data and information to the game as fast as possible. You have two different methods. You have Bluetooth and then you have USB, and I highly recommend if you guys do have a wireless controller, you guys use the Bluetooth method. The Bluetooth method actually sends information the fastest, even faster than USB. So if you guys are using a USB cable, it is going to be significantly slower, and I do mean like quite a bit. I play on PS5. Whenever I actually plug my controller in to charge it, it does get quite a bit of input delay immediately. As soon as I unplug it and it goes back to a Bluetooth connection method, then it usually calms down. It's nowhere near as delayed as it was when it's connected. And for some reason, I'm not sure if it's necessarily the fact that it's sending data USB or if it's interference with the controller, but whatever it is, it definitely causes a lot of input delay. Not only does a USB cable, but also a USB adapter as well. If you guys have a controller that basically sends the connection from your controller to an adapter to your console, that also adds a bit of input delay as well. Right here on the screen, you guys are going to see a graph that shows you exactly the difference between Bluetooth and wired. Now, this is a PC graph. This goes for mostly PC players, and if you guys are on PC, you guys can go ahead and take this information and use it the best way you guys can. But as you guys can see, Bluetooth has a much faster connection speed. If you are using wired, it basically triples the input delay, making it much worse. Now, I'm not sure about this for Xbox, but for the PlayStation side, I'm pretty sure if you do try to charge your controller, it's still going to maintain its Bluetooth connection, but it's just going to charge it. So it's not going to necessarily change the communication method just by trying to charge it. If it was already connected Bluetooth at first, it should be fine. But if you turn your controller off, plug in your PlayStation cord, and then turn the controller back on as it's plugged in, I do believe it changes the communication method in that situation. I'm not entirely sure. If you guys do know about that specifically, comment it down below, but just keep that in mind when you are trying to set up your controller or charge it. So the next thing I want to talk about is interference, which is probably going to be the biggest factor in this, because if you guys are wondering why all of a sudden you guys have these big bursts of input delay and then it kind of goes back to normal after a while, that is most likely going to be interference. That basically means other connections that are around the controller that are making it to where it's disturbing the communication process between your controller and your PS5 or console, whatever it is. If you guys are playing wirelessly, this is going to be a big factor. So let's just say you had a phone or router that's very close to the console, or maybe even in between you and the console, that is definitely going to give you a lot of input delay. And I do mean a lot. I've actually tested this myself multiple times, and this is definitely one of the most common factors of why people have so much input delay on any game they play, not just Warzone. And luckily, this is one of the easiest situations to fix. All you have to do is just remove whatever is causing interference. So if you guys have a router too close, or a radio or phone that's on a hotspot or whatever, just move that out of the way between the PS5 or whatever console you guys play on and the controller you're using. If you do that, that should remove the interference and it should work much better. Now I'm going to go ahead and just go down the list of other solutions real quick just to save as much time as possible. I don't want this video to be too long, but first things first, you guys, if you have a USB-C to USB-C, that could actually help a lot. If you guys have a USB to USB-C normally, that is still going to run pretty slow because even USB 3 is not as fast as a USB-C, and obviously all the PS5 controllers are using that. If you guys have a PS4 or Xbox One, you guys can just ignore this information because this is not, relevant to you guys. But if you guys do play on a newer series console, then you guys can try to purchase a cable that has both ends as USB-C, and then plug one end into the console and then obviously the other end into your controller. I did this myself and I noticed that there is actually much less input delay. It's still not as good as Bluetooth in my opinion, but it's much better than using a USB. There's even situations where people do not update their controller's software, which I thought was pretty normal because they usually do it automatically, but there's been situations where no one's updated their controller software, and obviously you're gonna have issues because it's out of date. So if you guys playing in a new gen console, make sure you guys update your wireless controller software. And the last thing I want to say in today's video is make sure your console is not too close to your TV. A lot of people nowadays use smart TVs, and these TVs do give a signal out, so it will also cause interference like I mentioned earlier. If you guys do not actually have a smart TV, you guys probably have nothing to worry about, but if you guys do, which I'm sure a lot of you guys do have a smart TV, then make sure you guys back it away, maybe give it 5 feet of space if you guys can. That will, I'm sure, give you guys a lot less input delay. But yeah, that's basically all I have for today's video. I've tried all these tricks and these have all been tested by me. I'm not just pulling this from anywhere. I've actually tested all of these methods, and I'm always looking for new methods to fix this issue because it's a pretty bad one. If you guys did try all these methods and none of them worked, try joining my Discord and I can try to help you guys out as best as I can with any solutions and how you guys can fix this. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, love, and understanding always.
Hostile UAV in the area. Moving here. Buy station deployed. Gas moving in. Less than 10 were still standing. Learn from the loss. Failure is a wise teacher. Friendly buy station is ready.